In this video, we are going to learn how to open up a Google Drawings in Google Drive, and we're going to learn how to create objects using shapes and color from the paint bucket. So let's get started. We are in Google Drive, and we are going to go to our tech folder. And if you haven't made one, you need to make a tech folder. And then we're going to double click on it. We're going to go over here to the left menu, click on New Plus. We're going to go down here to where it says More and click on More. That holds open the menu so that we can go up to Google Drawings and click on Google Drawings. Now that we're in Google Drawings, we want to make sure that we name our Google Drawing. In this case, I'm going to make a flower with a tree in the background. So I'm going to name it Scenery. So make sure that you click right up here next to the icon, the drawing icon. Click on it and then name it. And then when you're done, just click anywhere in the white. Now that we have named everything, we're going to get started. So the first thing I want to do is show you that there's a menu of tools up here. And then you also have an icon menu that gives you icons to work with, which this is where we're basically going to be working for right now. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put in a background. So I'm going to make a grass and a sky by using the box. And I'm going to first come in here and put some grass in here. Make some nice grass. Now it defaults to a blue, but I'm going to change that. Now that I put an object on here and you notice that there's little boxes around it, you'll see all these other icons right here. So we have our paint bucket icon. This is where I change my color, and I'm going to get kind of let's make it kind of a dark green. And now you'll notice that this little pencil right here, this is the border color. If I click here, you'll notice maybe you won't notice. If I change the weight of it, you'll notice. So here you can see right here that there is a black line around here. This is not the color that we want. We want our colors to stay the same. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to change the border back to 1. And I'm going to change the border to the same color that I used for the grass. So there is no black line now. Now then I'm going to add a back. Again, click on my shape icon, go to shapes, click that little arrow and it holds open the shapes. Then I'm going to click my rectangle and I'm going to make a rectangle for the beautiful sky. Now, this is a lovely blue, but I don't like this blue. So I'm going to change it to more of a brighter blue. I like a bright blue sky. And then again, we're going to go up here to the border and change it to a bright blue sky. There we go. Now, I'm going to create a flower using shapes and the color. And the quickest flower that I make is just a little flower using the heart. So the petals are going to be the hearts. So I'm going to go back to shapes and I'm going to click right here and I'm going to click that little arrow to hold the shapes, find the heart, click on the heart, and I'm going to bring the heart and create the heart just like this. This is one petal. And I'm going to change the color. Of course, again, we'll use our paintbrush and our border. So we're going to click right here. And I think I'm going to make a lovely little pretty magenta and make it magenta. So now you'll notice that there aren't any lines around it. If I highlight this, you're going to notice this little dot. This little dot is a rotating button. If I click on it and I hold down and I can rotate my shape any direction. I can go all the way around. I can go 360 degrees around. So I'm going to just kind of go that way. And then I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to copy it. So if I right click on it, I can copy it and then I can paste it. That way I don't have to make a whole bunch of them. I don't have to go in and rebuild and all of that. See, so now I kind of have two little petals there. Kind of go this way. I want my tips to be centered. If I center my tips, you'll notice that it's making a nice little flower. So I'm going to paste again. I'm going to rotate it. Put my center in here. You can see I've got one there, and I'm going to do one more, paste, and I'm going to turn it all the way around, kind of upside down almost, and you can see my little petals now. So this is my flower, and I'm going to add the pollen. You know how it's kind of yellow in the flowers? Well, I'm going to add a little dot of pollen right here, okay? So there's my pollen. Now I need it to be kind of a golden color, right? So we're gonna change the color and we're gonna change the border, make sure it's golden. That is my little flower. And we're going to continue here with making a stem. So let's make a stem. Up here you have your lines. So I'm gonna click this one, this line, this little arrow, and I'm gonna click on scribble. Then I'm going to come over here and you see my little plus sign. That means I can click and draw. So I'm going to click and draw and make a little stem. And then I'm going to come up here and click on my select so that I can get my little squares around my object. I'm going to make a wider line weight. I think I'm just going to make it about an 8. That's a nice thick one because it matches the size of the flower. And then I'm going to change the color, of course, to something a little lighter, something a little brighter, maybe. How about, there you go, nice and bright. Looks like it's attached really nicely. So I think I'm going to add a leaf, like you know how flowers have little leaves. I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to use a lightning bolt to make a leaf. Check this out. So I'm going to take my lightning bolt and I'm going to draw my lightning bolt like that. And then I'm going to change my color up here with the paint bucket and go back up here to the icon bar, click on the paint bucket, same color as my stem. Again, don't forget to change the border so it looks really good. And then I'm going to use my rotation circle and I'm going to rotate it a little bit. And then I'm going to blend it in with the stem like that. And when I click over here, you can see that it blends quite nicely. I might make it go a little bit further that way. There you go. And then I'm going to right click and duplicate it. I'm going to click on it, right click, copy it, and paste. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to rotate it again. And I'm going to bring it down here. Perfect. Now I got little leaves on my flower. Now I said I was going to add a tree in the background, so I'm going to go back to my shapes. Click on this little arrow to hold the shapes open, and I'm going to use a rounded rectangle. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to make my little trunk. This will be my trunk of my tree, and I'm going to change the color to a brown. This is a nice brown. And don't forget the border, always change the border. There we go. So now you can see we have a really nice brown right there. Now, to make the leaves on my tree, I'm going to use the cloud. So I'm going to go back to shapes. I'm going to click that little arrow to hold it and go pick a cloud. And I'm just going to draw a nice big cloud over here. Now, isn't that nice? Trees' leaves aren't blue, so we're going to go and change the color to something light. That's a good color. Let me see, that was the third one up. So I'm going to go and change my border to the third one up. Voila. Now I have a tree. You can see how we can take shapes and create objects using shapes and the color. This is how you create objects or images using shapes and color to create a graphic design in Google Drawings.